The darkness. The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark, and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. But don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you. Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light, you, your will, your determination. No matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end. Because the darkness only wins if you let it. Do not let the darkness win. Fight. Fight on. To fight against the darkness is to win. Fight on. Friends, this is the Formless Podcast, episode number 61, with Tyler, the superhuman, and me, Dustin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So how are we doing this morning?
This morning was crazy. This morning was a lesson in humility and a lesson in keeping myself cool and like not blowing up. I'm actually going to move this mic, so you might hear a little bump, folks. I'm like turning different directions here. And I want to face Tyler. No, it was, so this morning, like, I got to explain something here a little bit. So my house is like 1,100 square feet, pretty small. There's 5 of us that live in it. And then my father-in-law lives with us too. And he's on our property. And, so sometimes when the wife and I have to have like a conversation about serious topics, a lot of times we'll just get in the car and go for a drive because that's the only time it's like just us, you know?
Yeah, right.
Because there's always somebody like coming and going, or somebody's coming into the room, and you know, so it's really hard to have a serious discussion about whatever, you know, and there's always need for that, you know? So my wife's going to school. She's a little bit stressed out and things are hard right now, and she's kind of at a crossroads and trying to make decisions about what to do next, and she's feeling guilty because it takes a lot of time away from everything. And so I could tell that like things were bothering her. And the last few Saturdays I've been just taking the kids, like they don't get a choice. You're coming with me. We're giving mom a few hours to like catch up on stuff. And it's been really great. Well, this morning I was just a dumbass, and like I gave the boys all a choice. Like, you can come with me if you want, instead of just telling them like, hey, you're coming with me. Well, I could see like all of a sudden my wife just kind of like her whole demeanor just changed. And I'm like, what's up? You know, what happened? And she's like, well, you gave the kids a choice and now none of them want to go with you. And now I get to, you know, catch up on my homework, do this project, do my final test, and take care of the kids while you're gone. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No, I screwed up. I realize, you know, I was trying to be nice instead of just like, hey, you're coming with me kind of thing, which they're fine. They came with me anyway, and we discussed it, but I could tell like something was bugging her. So I grabbed her and brought her outside, and we like start talking, and she's having like a lot of things to get off her chest. Well, Tom, my youngest, being a turkey that he is like waiting by the window because he thinks that we're talking about him, right? So he's like snuck into one of the bedrooms, and he's got his ear pressed against the open window, like listening. And then her dad comes around the corner, and everybody's talking, you know. And so it just dissolved into like chaos. And the whole time this is happening, the clock's ticking. Class is starting, and we got to get down here, you know. So there was all of that. Everything's fine. We settled, you know, we fixed it before things happened. We just didn't just like leave on a bad note. Get to class. Everything's okay. Ava's teaching this morning.
Right.
I haven't had a class with her in months. And holy cow, has that girl, like, her skill level, her demeanor, her everything has just grown. Like it's a completely different person, right? She killed me. We were grappling. Did you watch?
I saw some of it. It looked like
she smoked me, man.
You were sitting there like, I looked over and you were tapping out.
Every time. Like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. She has gone, she's done a complete 180 from where she was like 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, remember the first time I grappled with her, she cried because she was like claustrophobic.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like she didn't cry, but she was like fighting back those tears, you know? But man, like I was laughing, and like when I was breathing, when I could breathe, I was laughing at just the fact that like this wasn't her from 6 months ago, you know, or last time I grappled with her, you know, it was like
different person.
It was a completely different person. Like, yeah, she choked me out and armbarred me, and yeah.
Isn't that funny? You don't see somebody for a couple months or whatever, and then you come back. You see them a couple months later. You train with them, and you're like, man, you've improved.
Improved, yeah. And she's still her bubbly, like smiley, happy self, you know. And like, so she's just like, oh yeah, and I'm gonna choke you out now.
And she taught most of the class.
Yeah, she taught today. So
yeah.
That's like, I don't think she would have been able to do that a year ago or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's growing up and improving. So that's like, shout out to her. That's awesome.
That's a nice to see that progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow.
At some point we'll have her on the podcast.
Her and her sister both.
Yep.
Yeah. They're both fine, wonderful young ladies. Yeah.
Well, so that going back to what you said this morning about the whole with your sons and giving them a choice, like, so you think the answer in the future is no choice?
Well,
like,
I never before. I was always just like, I would get with them either individually or as a group, outside of earshot from mom, and just be like, boys, mom's got homework. We got things to do. So I'm taking you with me Saturday morning. So wake up, be ready, you know, and it worked flawlessly. This morning, I don't know. I didn't have that conversation with them beforehand. And so this morning I was just like not thinking, not on, you know, and
right.
I just like, hey, yeah, I'm going to go to class and Tyler and I are going to do a podcast. And if you want to come, you guys can come. Well, you know, they all piped up like right away, like, oh, I'm going to stay home. And I was just like, that probably wasn't the right approach, you know? And so I'll get back on it. Next week will be better, but,
so you think the right approach would be like, we're going, you're going.
Well, yeah. And it has been, because that was like, they knew like we need to give mom time. And it wasn't like you have to go
right.
you are dead. You know?
Right.
It was like, you're coming with me. We need to give mom time, give her space, let her get her homework done, or this project that she's working on, or whatever the case may be. So I need you to come with me. Mm-hmm. Or you need to plan for another alternative if you don't want to come with me. So that means we got to get a hold of a friend or a grandpa or a grandma or somebody, and we'll take you there. So mom's got a little bit of quiet time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I just gotta write something down real fast here.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, I'm not a parent yet, you know, but I will be a parent hopefully at some point. And you kind of think about stuff with kids where when they're younger, you're like, you have to brush your teeth, right? You have to do this. Like, you are brushing. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You are brushing your teeth because I'm not paying for dentist bills down the road, right? Like, so like I know with kids sometimes you have to be like, you're doing this. This is what you're doing, and this is gonna help you. You may not like it at the time, but
dude, with everything.
Yeah. Okay.
With everything.
Everything. There we go.
Everything. Don't pick your nose. Don't, you have to take a shower. You have to brush your teeth. You have to, like, all of that stuff.
Right.
Like, and with boys, it's a little bit different, in my opinion. I don't have girls, but I had a younger sister. My younger sister was like, and she's 10 years younger than me, but she was always like willing to clean up. Kids, like boys, I'm only speaking from my boys, my experience with boys. They will live in their own filth. Like, I don't smell. Literally, like all three of them have told me that at one time or another. I don't smell. Like, no, you just can't smell yourself, son. But yeah, they anything that seems good for them, they don't want to do. Like, you got to bribe them or force them or fight with them, and it's like, I shouldn't have to fight with you to brush your hair or brush your teeth or take a shower. But the older two now, they're fine. Like, they grow up. They grow out of it generally. My 9-year-old's a little different. He's a little different ball. It's good times.
Okay.
But
well, what else?
What else going on?
Yeah, what else?
Dude, just summertime. Summer, 105, nice and balmy.
It is. It's getting up there. I mean, we just hit triple digits here.
Yeah. It was like 103 or 104 yesterday. It was a smoke show for sure. Summertime, so I'm super busy, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. It's the seasons of the year. When we hit summer here in Northern California, it's like, bam, you're in summer. Like, it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, technically, as of today, we're actually still in spring, right? So, like,
you wouldn't know it.
You wouldn't know
outside. It. Yeah. No, it's wild. So last Monday, I had to go to Hayfork for work, and it actually rained. It was raining in Hayfork last Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, which is odd. I mean, we're still, that was like June.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No, what's
Monday?
today?
Today's the
8th. So yeah, technically it was
June. It was like the 1st or 2nd of June. And yeah, it was raining. Not like downpours or anything, but there was definitely rain. And then this Monday, it was like 100 degrees, and dry as a bone. But that's just,
that's the weird nature of the weather we have here in Northern California.
Yeah. We get a tease of spring, and then you're right into the barbecue. Yeah, it's crazy. I always joke around that, like, if you tell people that you don't necessarily want to visit you for a long time, to come in August, right? Because it's so hot.
Oh,
in
it
August.
cools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hot in August and July and all of that. You tell them, come in the middle of summertime.
It's almost, yeah.
And then tell them it's like that all the time.
Yeah, it's like this in February.
Yeah.
Totally kidding. No.
But it's just kind of part of you get used to it. It's just the way it is.
That's something I've become really aware of as I've gotten older, is the changing of the seasons and how, they distinct, they're very distinct things. The fall, the leaves change.
Yeah.
Summer, it's super hot. Fall, the leaves will change and fall off, and then it starts to cool off, and then you got winter, and then obviously winter, and then you come out of winter and it comes into spring. But around here, we get all these false winters or false springs, right? They say
this teaser. Yeah.
The teaser. Yeah. You start getting in March, and it gets a little warm kind of in March and April. And we're like, we're going into summer, and it's like barely spring, and then sometimes the flowers will pop open early, you know, and
or your garden will bloom,
or your garden will. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, it's warm, we're coming out, and then it gets cold again.
You know, that's really funny you bring that up, because like when you're a kid and you start learning about all of those seasons and the change, like, I don't know about you, but like when I was a kid, I only knew about my immediate surroundings or my immediate like environment. So if it was springtime and they were talking about summer, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like I only know this.
Right
like,
here.
This is what I understand, you know, and then like as you get older and you kind of experience that and you're like, oh, this is what fall feels like, or this is what summer is. And this is what winter is. You like, oh, you know, you like, it's like a whole new, awakening to that, you know, and like I've been experiencing a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Like
the seasons of your life.
The seasons of my life, but like these new experiences, the job, the where my wife is in her life and going to school and everything. And like Hunter's 17 and like, you were a baby. Like I brought you home from the hospital and like held you in my arms and like all of those things. And now like he's going to be an adult, you know, or he's virtually an adult. He's taller than I am.
Yeah. He's looking good too. Martial arts.
Yeah. And so it's just like all of these things, like I was aware of it, but I wasn't aware of it. You know what I mean? Like I knew it was going to happen, but I hadn't experienced it.
Yes.
And so like, it's like seeing a preview for a movie. Like you kind of know what's going to happen, but until you actually sit down and watch the movie, then you're like, oh, that's what that character was talking about. Or,
right.
That's what that character was doing in this short 10-second cut that I saw. You know?
Yeah.
And so like there's this whole new, like I feel like every day I'm discovering something new. Like, oh, that's what that means, or that's what that is, or like, it's wild.
You're going from like a 2-dimensional view of something to like a 3-dimensional view.
Yeah.
You know, where you that's an age and maturity thing, I think. Like, right? Like,
I hope I'm getting mature. But yeah.
No, but to notice those things, you know, I remember when I was a kid and my parents would tell me, hey, and they would always be encouraging me to notice details, right? Notice details on people and behaviors. And I did, you know, like I would notice details, but it's almost, you noticed like, oh, this is how this person walks, or, oh, this is how this person talks, or this person always dresses with a hat on their head. You know, I'm being very generic on details, but in the same way that you like are now noticing the things, like kind of, it sounds like the different things that change with the seasons of your life, right? And now you're going into like a new season, right?
Yeah. Oh,
where
yeah.
You're kind of seeing things in a different light that you never saw before.
Well, the whole dynamic,
if that's the right way to say it.
Yeah, the whole dynamic is changing a little bit. You know, like Hunter's got not his driver's license yet, but he'll have one soon, and like he's not the little boy that he once was.
Right.
So that's like this adjustment, and like the stuff that he used to find funny is not funny anymore. The stuff that he used to like, you know, those things, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm still used to the little kid that like.
That I brought
home from the hospital, or that I used to come home from work and watch cartoons with, or that I would, you know, those things. It's just different now. It's still the same, like he's still my kid. I'm still his dad, and all those things, but they're just changing, and they've been changing since day one. But now they've changed, and it was like, I'm still like nostalgic for that yesterday.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. We all, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but I think for you, it's probably a lot more deep and impactful because it's your son that's changing. You know, you're like, wow, like he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't laugh at the same jokes. Now he likes different jokes. Like,
exactly. And I'm probably feeling real nostalgic because like, I went to a graduation, high school graduation. And then my nephew the same day in Chico graduated from the 8th grade. And like, he was just this little baby, you know, and the high school graduation that we went to was like, I've known this person since they were a little baby, you know, and it's just like, holy cow, all these things are changing, and I'm excited for them. They both did really awesome. My nephew, Jonah, 4.0, honor roll, like really, really sharp kid, doing awesome. And then I'll just say my other nephew, Jonah, who graduated high school, family friend, basically family, got like all of I couldn't even begin to tell you all of the awards that he got. Got a full ride scholarship to a college, got another scholarship from McConnell Foundation. Just
wow.
like the list of awards was just endless. So it was awesome. But I just realized like life is moving on.
Life
right?
is moving
you know,
on.
that train is just kept a rolling, and time to catch up, you know.
It is, because it's like the seasons, right? The seasons. I mean, we've got, you know, we're in spring technically for like another week and a half or whatever.
Or 12 hours.
Spring, summer, fall, and winter. And it's like you're longing for like fall, like, and
it's already passed by.
And it's passed by, but that's natural. That's normal, for us, you know, and we all want that, you know that. But even with the seasons, they appear as if they're standing still, but they're never really standing still, right? Like we want things frozen in time, right? You like for you, like you were saying, you want that time when your son Hunter was like a kid,
a baby.
Yeah. Right? Am I saying that the right way? Like,
yeah.
And you want that, and want that, and that's like. And now things have changed, and it's
moving on.
It's moving on, and I know what you're talking about, because it's still, you have that longing, that nostalgia, and it's funny. Things never truly stand still; they just kind of appear like they do to us.
Exactly, and like, you know, I thought about this a whole lot this last couple of weeks, but like, we have the learning gates.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about like unawareness or blindness, where you're not aware of the lesson.
Yeah.
And then you become aware of it, and then you're aware of it, but you're not 100% sure of how everything works. And then eventually you become one with that thing. And
right.
You know it. It's you, and you are it. And then they start over again. You become unaware of the next thing you're supposed to learn, and so on and so forth. And I feel like I always find myself back at that emptiness stage, that first stage. Like I'm totally unaware of what I'm supposed to do here. What's my role? What's my situation even? You know, like, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to be in.
No.
If you look at it with the right set of eyes, you know, it's like you should be excited because there's new opportunities to learn or to grow or to progress. But lately I've been really like focusing on that. And what I'm talking about, folks that don't know, are learning. We have I don't know if it's a psychology exercise. It's one of our tenets that we teach in our classes with martial arts, and it's basically how it boils down to, correct me if I'm wrong, but like it's the idea of how one learns, or how we learn as people.
Yep.
When you learn something new for the very first time, you're totally unaware of how it works, or what it is, or how it is supposed to be, what it is supposed to be, what it even is. And then as you learn, you know, you progress through those stages, and then like the next one is duality.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it you can explain it, but you don't know it. You're not at one with it. Like you could probably pass it on to somebody in some broken form, but they wouldn't have 100% grasp of it.
Okay.
Not without like really thinking about it, right? And then you progress and I got to think about it.
Oneness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you know it, and it's like chewing bubble gum. You just do it. It's automatic kind of thing. And then you progress even further, and it's emptiness, right?
Emptiness.
Yeah.
Blindness, duality, oneness, and emptiness.
Yeah. So anyway, it's supposed to be a circle, and you're constantly going through this motion and this process. And I think it's pretty true to life, because like this morning, I knew all the things that I was supposed to do to tell the kids and to like get ready for the day, but it all went out the window. And because I wasn't focused, I was distracted with 100 other things and my own BS, and like just said whatever came out of my mouth was like, oh, you don't have to go if you don't want to. And like to look over at my wife and see her face, I was like, oh,
whoops.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't quite think I had that one down pat yet. So go back to the drawing board.
That empty in the cup, right? Of the fourth
perfect example.
Emptiness, right?
Yeah.
Because then
you can learn something new.
You can learn something new, and there's the warriors and the dragons for each of those gates, right?
Yes.
You know,
so you have the problem and the solution to that problem.
Yeah, and so it's interesting because I do that so much now as an adult, where I've emptied my mind and I've just said, oh, okay, like going back to the movie example, you know, now that I've gone through this whole process of raising the money, pre-production on a film, production, post-production, now I'm in distribution, and it's almost like I'm self-diagnosing these these things that come up, and I'm like, oh, next time, okay, I know not to do that, or I know to do this more next time. Like I didn't do this enough, but now I need to do this. And now I'm to the point where I've literally like emptied my cup, so to speak. And I'm like, okay, for my next movie, I'm going to pretend like I don't know anything. And it's this weird paradox where you empty your cup and you want to start over, but you haven't it's almost like another parallel. You empty your cup and you start over like with a brand new slate, but you're still kind of operating on what you just emptied. Right? Like you never, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You like I could never go back to knowing like when you empty your cup, let's just take martial arts, right? You get your black belt in Wu Ying Dao. Okay, now you're going to go get it in some, arnis, right? Some stick fighting. You can never truly empty your cup. And I hope I'm saying that the right way. When you start over with arnis, because you're still carrying those skills and the way you moved.
And the timing that happens. Yeah. I think you're totally right.
And I hope I'm saying that the right way. Like I hope I'm not, butchering that.
No. But like, I was thinking about something completely different when you brought that up. I was more thinking of like, is there okay, so what if your cup's empty to begin with? Like, right? Like there's a new experience. Have you ever distributed a movie before?
No.
So you don't even know like
what I don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. And you don't know if that next step is going to should that be the first step, or should that be the fifth step?
Correct.
Right? And so like you're barking up this tree, but in reality you should really be barking up this tree.
Right. And I don't know what that tree is.
You don't even know. Yeah. You don't know where that tree is, or what that tree is, or if it's even a tree that you should be going down, Right. But yeah. So I didn't mean to like take away from what you were saying.
No.
That's what I wrote down earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I got to write that down.
Yeah. Future subject.
But no, I think life is a cycle of that though. Like seasons of emptying your cup, of if you're truly living that life, if you're truly living life, you should be going through those cycles and those seasons of life, and really trying to like, okay, am I grasping all of this? Am I getting all of this that I need to get out of life? I mean, that's the definition of a life well lived, right? Like going for the marrow.
Yeah. And, I think it's, like right now I'm currently emptying my cup, and I'm like, oh, like what things, going after, I'm doing the movie thing, we're doing this podcast, what things in my life, like what can I empty, like it's taking every element in my life, like where I spend my time, and analyzing that, and thinking like, okay, so I have, you've got job, you've got, relationship, you've got like martial arts, like those are things like, but I've been honestly looking at each element in my life and being like, okay, what do I have time for? What do I not have time for? And like, friends that, are, friends that maybe you've grown a little distant from the friends, and you're, maybe you haven't hung out for a while, and you say, oh, should I reconnect? Should I, should I let this keep happening? Like what's going on? And then there's the time element, like, do you have enough time to handle all this stuff? And I can only imagine with kids, it's a family and kids, it's
insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to joke that like, I wish I didn't have to sleep. Like,
that's right.
If there was another option short of a meth habit, like I would take it. Like
to get everything done.
Yeah, like I want to bargain with whomever and be like, oh, listen, you give me like 5 days and then I'll sleep for 2. Like what do I do here? Like, how do I squeeze every minute of this time that I have out? Yeah.
And then it's finding that work balance, or not
work-life balance.
Work life. Yeah. Like whatever. And
there's none. Just go.
Just
go.
Get it done.
Get it done, because if you contemplate on it too much, you'll just sit and contemplate. Like, I don't know.
Motion creates emotion.
Yeah.
You ever heard that?
That's a good one.
That's one I've heard. I hadn't heard until like 10 years ago or something. Motion creates emotion.
Objects in motion tend to stay in motion.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, in my personal, like, if I spend too much time like dwelling on the things I have to do, and I do this all the time, like I'll sit in my car at work and be like, I have this list of all the crap I've got to get done. And then I've got this tablet that tells me all my 10 stops and all of the things I have to do at each one of those stops. It's overwhelming.
It is.
And like I have to fight that urge to like freak out a little bit. I'm just like, okay, first things first, take it one step at a time and just chip away at it. And don't look at the next thing until I'm done with that thing that I'm working on first, otherwise I wouldn't even start.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah. How many projects would we not start?
The list of projects I have that I've not started or completed is so long. It's embarrassing.
Do you ever like these days? I literally will stop before I start a new thing, whatever that is. And I'll be like, can I see this through to the end? Like, can I?
Oh, you're way smarter than I am.
I don't want to start this unless I can finish it.
I dive headfirst into it and worry about those consequences later. And I'll be like 6 months down the road, like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. My wife is patient. She's very patient.
Look where we are with the podcast.
Man. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is not, we're too far in.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, no, it's not even what I was saying. Yeah.
For one, I love every second of this, and I have no intentions of stopping doing this at all. But that was one of her concerns. Like, is this one of those things that you're like excited about for this week, and next week you're excited about something else?
And look, here we are.
Yeah.
61 episodes in.
And like 3 years later.
3 years later.
I think
That's
so.
commitment.
Yeah, I think so. So
Has it been 3 years?
I don't know. I'll have to double check for sure, but I think so.
It's close.
At least 2. At the very least, it's 2.
I think it's more than 2.
Yeah,
it was right before we took our black belt test, right? That we started the podcast, didn't you? Or was it after the black belt test?
It was after we had gotten our black belt.
Oh, okay. So then definitely 2 then. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
We'll have to
be
look.
close. It's got to be close to 3.
Yeah, and that just shows that's like we dove in, we stuck with it.
Well, yeah.
Now we're staring at our 100th episode.
Well, the funny thing is too, though, like, is even though we've got 61 and we've been doing this for a couple of years, there's still so much more to learn about how to do it and what the processes are and stuff. And then, like, also, my big concern was like, am I going to run out of stuff to say? Like, oh, what if I run out of topics? Then what? Do I just stand here and like stare at the microphone? You know? And like that notion quickly passed because I don't think I'll ever run out of stuff to say. I've been admonished my whole life for talking too much. So
there's thousands of years of human history. Like, we've got something that we can keep talking.
We can learn something from everybody, you know.
But, you know, it's almost, you know, this is our second episode with this equipment, this new stuff. So we almost we emptied our cup when we got all this new equipment, and we were like, okay, we've been doing this, but now we've got these.
Well, like
this upgraded equipment.
Upgrade. It's like
figure out how to use it.
The next step in the process. Like, okay, leveled up. You know, now things got a little harder. Now what do we do? What's the next step? What's, you know, and we're getting there. You know, we've got things in motion, and it's funny, like that momentum that we had when we first started. It was all enthusiasm, right? Like
carrying us through.
Yeah, carrying us through. We were all excited, and that's what it was. It was like pure excitement. Oh, well, we need this. I have one of those. You want to get together Saturday? Yeah, let's get together Saturday. You know, and it was like that. We were kind of like feeding off of each other. And then that started to wane a little bit, you know, like it does. Like it does. And then like something new happened. We got a website, or we started a Twitter profile, or we got Instagram, or, you know, like, and then just that ball started to roll. And like now it's rolling. And it's like moving. Yep. And now it's like, okay, I got to run to keep up.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And like, oh crap. Now we're like, oh yeah, you know, and it's awesome. It's a great feeling. It's a great experience, but it's like this machine it's moving.
Yep.
And now it's like, okay, you know, we're the conductor. It's like, choo choo, here we go. You know,
we gave birth to it, and now it's like, you've got to feed it, you've got to water it. If you want it to stay alive, you've got to.
Yeah. It's an entity, and it needs input, and you got to feed that machine.
Yep.
Just like anything else, you got to put input. But yeah, it's a fun experience. It's just like the whole thing has been fun with the right outlook and the right attitude. It's been fun. Don't get me wrong. There's been some frustrating things where I'm screaming at the computer lately, but it's been good, man. It's been good. I can't complain. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Friends, thanks for listening. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all of that. By the time you listen to this, hopefully, if not very soon, you should see all of our stuff that we have for sale on our website. Hats, shirts, sweaters, stickers.
Cool stuff.
Banners, which we're going to get here shortly. Stickers, hats, shirts. I said all of that. Yeah, cool stuff. You should definitely check it out. Also, thank you for the support. Thank you for the people that have reached out and said something about listening and enjoying our show. And if you want to reach out to us, we are on Facebook. We have a Facebook group called the Formless Pod, and it is open and available to anyone that wants to be on that. Also, we have an Instagram page. Everything's named the same thing. Our email is formlesspod@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out on any of those platforms. Any last words?
I think you covered it all.
Right on. Get after it.